All right, good afternoon or good evening. We'll go ahead and get started at 6 o'clock. It's 6 o'clock now. I will now call this meeting to order at 6 p.m. We have everybody present with the exception of Sandra, so we do have a quorum. I'm going to go ahead and do the Pledge of Allegiance first before I speak on the welcome. Ready, go. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, welcome. This meeting is being webcast live and recorded. The recordings or webcasts may capture images and sounds of those attending the meeting. At this time, I would like to remind everybody about the procedures to public participation in tonight's meetings. Members of the public are encouraged to address the board in any agenda item or topic within the board's jurisdiction. Public comments will be allowed a maximum of 5 minutes per speaker with a total of 20 minutes allocated for each item. If it's necessary to provide additional time, the president will discuss and adjust accordingly. Regarding complaints, if a concern is raised about an employee, the complainant will be informed of the complaint procedure. The first step is for the complainant to submit the concern in writing to the district office, after which the district will begin the investigation process to address the issue fairly and promptly. Complaints involving child abuse or unlawful discrimination will be handled in accordance with specific legal protocols. Please note that any documents handed to the board during the meeting are subject to public records request in accordance with the California Public Records Act. The board prohibits retaliation against complainants, and all complaints will be investigated promptly and impartially. Please respectful to the meeting's process. Disruptive behavior will not be tolerated and may result in removal from the meeting. Thank you for your cooperation. Now I would like to request to approve the September 10, 2025 regular meeting agenda.
I'll second.
Any discussion? Roll call. Sandra is not here. Sammy?
Aye.
Patty?
Aye.
Valerie?
Aye.
And I. I'm identifying the closed session topics. The following closed session topics have been identified. It's conference with labor negotiators, conference with legal counsel, and conference with real property negotiators. We will take the first item until 6:30 p.m. and continue with the order of the two topics after open session. Public comment on any of the closed session items? Okay, we go ahead and adjourn to closed session at 6:03. Session at 6:36. We have presentation, safety updates. Dr. Vargas?
Okay, so you should have. Am I okay right? I'm okay right here.
Is everything here?
If you leave it up, Sam. Okay, my finger will get a workout. Okay. So we have been discussing how we can continue to ensure that we are thinking through continuous improvement with our safety department, partially at the request of the board, but also just some of the assessment that we've been doing across the district. And so we have just a brief little presentation for you today about what that plan is going to look like for this coming school year. So to go over the plan, one important thing was aligning the job descriptions. We did receive some feedback from our lawyers, and so at this time, we're going to continue to investigate what that would look like to be able to align the job descriptions of the supervisor and the coordinator. In addition to that, we will be adding the safety department so that it is encompassed within teaching and learning, which was also the educational services department of the district. And this is so we can ensure that we're strengthening student support across campuses. So the same principles and philosophy that underscores all of our discipline and culture work at our schools is continuous with the safety department as well. So that will be including more training and more opportunities for them to be aligned with the language that we use with the rest of the district as well. As part of this, we want to conduct a structured review of the various roles, look at the needs that are existing on our different campuses, and again, as I mentioned, be able to provide professional learning to that team to make sure that they have the skills and the capacity to meet the expectations that we have. And so the goal is to provide stable interim oversight for this school year, and eventually transition to our full-blown new kind of safety launch. So you'll see on this page, this is our organizational structure, to see how the safety department will be integrated into the teaching and learning and the ed services department. So there is a dotted line to me because this year I will be providing direct support as we go through the continuous improvement process with this team. And I will be collaborating with Helen because in the long run, this person, the safety coordinator potentially, and that department would fall within the special services, which makes sense because they're also the ones doing the health portion services of the district as well. And those two teams often work hand in hand. So this is kind of just a mini timeline of how we see this plan being carried out. So right now we're in a launch and orientation phase, which really means we're just gathering the tools and resources we need to do the work. Between October and December, we will go into a full-fledged needs assessment. So that will be working with the departments, listening to things that have gone well, things that need to be improved, soliciting input from our other educational partners, such as the board, the families, parents, community, and then getting some additional feedback from our school sites as well. That will enable us to look at that role, the different roles in the safety department, and make sure that the job descriptions are aligned to the expectations and the current needs of the district. And so we will work to implement those new expectations or refined expectations. And Helen and I will work hand in hand so that she has all the tools and resources to make sure that this department continues to receive support throughout from here on out, right? So that it's a sustainable structure. Let's see. So the outcomes, we want to ensure that there are clear roles and responsibilities within those roles. We want to make sure that the district's safety team is aligned with our overall student well-being goals. We want to make sure that we were building the capacity of this team and providing that ongoing learning. And we also want to make sure that there's a smooth transition as we migrate them from within the human resources over to the teaching and learning and ed services side. So that's all we have for you today. Are there any questions?
Yes, will a voice vote be necessary for your new alignment? And if so, when would you be bringing that to the board?
Yeah, today we are not taking any action, but if need be, if we change any of the job descriptions and with advice from the lawyers, we'll keep you updated in the process. But I anticipate if there's any action, it wouldn't be until spring. Anyone else? Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Vargas. Reports, Mr. Pacina?
Yes, good evening, Board President Cisneros, members of the board, staff and community. Just want to welcome everybody to tonight's meeting. Just some quick updates. We are in full swing of school, and so we have a lot of learning that's taking place. I know that Dr. Vargas has been at school sites, walking classrooms and those type of things, and I've been supporting, as you saw in that kind of matrix, secondary and helping them as well. And so that's been going really well. We have students that are just engage in learning, and that's because our teachers have done an amazing job, of getting them ready, as well as our classified, our pairs in the classrooms, as well as, all of the different other classified supports to get things ready. So we're always in a continuous improvement mindset of how we can improve. And so we definitely are, always looking at feedback on how we can, make things better for our students. Besides that, we are going to have a ring ceremony coming up. I believe we're looking at maybe the 16th for sure. I'm going to get that date and send it out not only to the board, but it'll be out to the community for our Valley champions for our baseball team, which did an amazing job there. And so that's coming up, as well as a ton of other sports happening. I know I was just at the volleyball today at John Muir, and they're doing an amazing job there, as well as all of our sports throughout the district. And then finally, look to the next few weeks. Our elementary schools will be doing their literacy nights and math nights, so those are going to get started. So those are also great. And I want to thank our principals and our teachers who've done an amazing job of really taking board priority 3 seriously, because when we started that work, one of the comments that was made, I always remind them that it has to be more than just being at a game, right? And so the middle school just had pizza with the principal, right? Each of them has some kind of engagement that goes beyond, and they're asking their families questions to be able to begin to identify both strengths and areas of growth. So at that point, they could use it at their school site. So my hats off to the principals for they're doing that along with their staff. So it's really good. Thank you so much for that. And with that, that's all I have. I yield my time, Madam President.
Thank you. Any reports from trustees? The only feedback I wanted to provide is actually a thank you for the community. One of the first football games we had a tailgating event where a lot of the members of the community got together to share on our athletic teams as they started their season. So thank you for all the community that participated. That's all I have. We have Corcoran Faculty Association, CFA.
Good evening, everyone. Okay, very good. Good evening, everyone. I'm Roseanne Salcido, Corcoran Faculty Association President. I'm in person today on Zoom. We're about halfway through the first quarter at the middle school and high school. I do want to address quite a few issues. CFA would like to report a few important concerns and issues to the board. First, CFA would like to address the lack of formal introductions of new employees in a district office. There are several new employees in a district office who have not formally introduced themselves to staff at each site. This is a small enough district in which new district office personnel can visit each site on, like a Wednesday and introduce themselves in person. It makes for a more personable interaction for everyone. CFA was also made aware on Monday, September 8th, 2025, that new teachers have not had access to their health and medical insurance benefits. They were not yet enrolled under Blue Cross, even though they have been employed by the district since August 1st, 2025, or before that date. This should have been completed when the new teachers signed their contracts and or during the new teacher meeting before the school year started. This is a major concern for CFA members as health and medical benefits is needed as soon as possible. There are some teachers who have started working here and they've been without their medication for about 3 weeks, 4 weeks. And so it's a pretty big concern when the new teachers haven't been enrolled for Blue Cross. Recently, staff did not, actually this year, I should say, staff did not receive the normal health and welfare benefits enrollment package by paper. It was sent via Google form. Past practice has been that each employee received a packet that included valuable information regarding some additional resources and contact numbers for employees to use for specific health and medical benefits. And this is an example that we've been given every year. And it gives a lot of valuable information as numbers to call, any kind of vision, questions that you may have, mental health. It has a lot of good information in here. And we were not given this year. This was greatly appreciated every year. I know we have a person in our district. And again, that's important, to make those connections with our district office. And, we got to actually see the document to choose from. And there were a lot of questions when the Google form was sent out. So that would have alleviated a lot of the questions there as well too. On March 25th, 2025, CFA sent the district a TK MOU to review and discuss with CFA. We received an email on Wednesday, March 26th, 2025, stating that the district will need to review it and then send an update on Friday, March 28th, 2025. But no update was received. CFA sent a reminder email on Friday, April 4th, 2025. CFA never received a response. On Tuesday, August 12th, upon return of the school year 2025, after several attempts of contacting the district via email to meet and discuss the TK issues, CFA demanded to bargain. We are having significant issues with high student enrollment numbers. CFA has been in contact with the district about this TK issue, and we'd like to discuss other issues that have not been addressed. Again, we were sent an email about a plan that was supposed to be sent by Friday, September 12th, 2025, but we haven't received that yet. Okay, and so this is an urgent issue, and we like to set up a meeting with the district as soon as possible. So, having a plan ahead before we've actually met, the district doesn't know what we want to discuss. We have a list of things that we want to discuss, so we can't have really a plan until we've actually discussed this situation. There's a lot more than just the student enrollment involved. CFA is quite concerned about the student behavior issues that have begun again at several sites. We have 2 teachers at 2 sites that have been physically attacked and are threatened by students. One teacher has asked for the student to be removed from her class. The request was denied. CFA has made several attempts to resolve this issue with the district by email and even requested a meeting involving all parties, but that request was denied. As classroom teachers, we're the experts when it comes to the students. And it's disappointing in the lack of trust and empathy for the teacher when it comes to serious student behavior issues. Another student actually threatened to kill a teacher. In these situations, regardless of the age, the police department is supposed to be called to do a report. This is Ed Code 44014. On another note, there are teachers who have put in orders for classroom supplies and they still have not received them. This is from the beginning of the school year. It's September. Several have had to purchase classroom supplies with their own money, and they do not get reimbursed. As Corcoran Faculty Association president, it's my duty to represent our union members. I'm a full-time classroom teacher as well as a sports coach. I also work with students after school for the rec. I've been with them for 21 years, teaching for 26. I try to contact the district and resolve these issues by email because I don't always have the time to meet a person. However, I don't always receive a response either when I do send an email. CFA would like the board to take note of these issues. Finally, I'd like to say, welcome back, Gina. You've been greatly missed. Thank you for your time, Corcoran Faculty Association.
Thank you. California School Employees Association.
Good evening, everyone. Can you hear me? Okay. Good evening, board members and administration. Dulce Sandoval, CSEA chapter president. We are in our 5th week of school and we've had quite a few events take place at all of the sites. Back to school nights, fall sports are in full swing at John Muir and CHS. John Muir had his first group of 6th graders attend SciCon and my daughter was among them. I was a little nervous for her, but she had such a blast and had a great experience. Thank you to the John Muir admin and the teachers and staff that continue to make this experience possible. The beginning of the school year is full of joy, excitement, and many memories, but it is not without several hiccups along the way. Bret Harte had an influx of TK registrations, and all 5 classrooms were beyond the 10-1 ratio from the very beginning. This prompted the need to open the 6th classroom, and it was immediately above the 20-student enrollment. As you may all know, once a TK classroom reaches over 20 students, they are required to have a 3rd adult in the classroom to maintain the 10-to-1 ratio. This requirement prompted the need for Bret Harte admin to move around paras to fill this need. There are not enough TK paras hired to fulfill this requirement, which prompted them to use long-term subs. As we all know, this is not a viable solution since subs are not required to attend daily, and we've been experiencing a shortage of subs for several years now. There are not enough subs to go around, and the coverage is not consistent, which prompts other paras to be pulled from the regular assigned settings. What is the long-term plan to address the TK need for maintaining the 10-to-1 ratio in all 6 classrooms? TK and kinder students coming in unprepared, lacking basic adaptive and social skills, such as not being fully potty trained, lack of independent toileting skills, following simple directions, limited communication skills, not knowing how to manage their emotions, eloping, and physical aggression have increased for the past several years. The staff are not prepared nor trained to meet all of these needs. The classified job descriptions do not match the new added duties or responsibilities to assist these students. The list of students that require toileting assistance by the CNAs keeps growing with no end in sight. The site nor the district have a plan to graduate these students. We do not believe that these services should be an indefinite service provided to the students as they move from Bret Harte to Fremont to Mark Twain and beyond. The district needs to set a limit and implement a plan for how long and until when these services will be provided, and where the parents and guardians must pick up their responsibility. Schools are for learning, not to provide all of the basic independent living skills that should be taught at home. Bright Heart, Fremont, and Mark Twain staff have raised several concerns over students' increase in physical aggression and lack of supports and training for staff to keep themselves and the students safe. We understand there are counselors at every site rotating MFTs and the addition of 2 more behavior support aides, but the needs are too great to be addressed when the time arises. Staff are worried about the liability and the possibility of injury if they are asked to assist in intervening when these students are aggravated and are posing harm to themselves and to others. There is not enough training, and again, our job descriptions do not reflect these new added risks or duties. Behaviors on the bus routes are increasing and posing higher risks to students and the drivers and the bus aides. Paraprofessionals, instructional aides. For the past 5 years, I have raised the concern of the district's lack of separate job descriptions for several different settings at the sites. I brought it up to Mr. Merlo, Dr. Solis, Mr. Ochoa, and now Mr. Pacina. All of them did not really see the need for separate job descriptions for the paras. They felt the one and only job description and pay range for paras was enough. Well, we have reached a time where one is no longer sufficient, and the district has to follow suit like all the other districts and begin to add different types of paras, such as preschool, TK/kinder, special education. In my most current research, every single district within Kings and Tulare County has several different types of paras, instructional aides with separate job descriptions and at times different pay ranges and levels. Hanford Joint Union High School District has 3 different types of aides with 3 different ranges. Hanford L has 6 different types. Central Union has 4, Lemoore Elementary 6, Lemoore High 2, Mission Oak 6, Tulare Union 6, Tulare Western 6, Visalia Unified has 7 different types. Tulare City Schools has over 16 different types and levels of aides and different pay ranges. Lindsay Unified has 3, Farmerville has 12, Exeter has 12, Dinuba Unified School District has 6, and Corcoran has 1. This research only further solidifies why Corcoran should move forward with further researching to add different types of paras/instructional aides to include a preschool aide, TK/kinder aide, Janet/intervention aide, and special education aide. These additions will assist the district in clearly defining the expectations and job duties/responsibilities for these settings, as they have drastically changed just within the last 5 years. One para job description might have been enough 20 years ago, but it is no longer viable nor ethical to continue with just one and expect everyone in those positions to complete all of the new duties and responsibilities that have been added or changed in the last 5 years. Fairly compensating employees for the additional duties and responsibilities has always been a fight in this district, but we will continue to advocate for classified to be compensated fairly. Thank you and have a great evening.
Public comment. I'd like to remind everyone in the public participation procedures for tonight's meeting. Members of the public may speak on any agenda item or topic within the board's jurisdiction. Each speaker is allowed up to 5 minutes with a total of 20 minutes per item. Speaker request forms are available at the entrance and should be given to Ms. Gina for public comments. Public hearing. Conducted public hearing for sufficient of instructional materials 2025-2026. Did we have any, Gina? None? Okay. Dr. Vargas?
Yes, so in the board. So the board packet that you received on Friday, there was a copy of our resolution to ensure that the district has sufficient instructional materials for this school year. There were no comments on? Okay. At this time, I can,
I'm sorry, you want me to open up for this specific topic? If there's any public comments on this specific agenda item? None? Go ahead.
okay. So as I mentioned, you have a copy of the resolution. If you so desire, I can read it aloud.
Is it in the packet? Because I didn't see it.
It was the last page of the packet that you received on Friday.
Thanks, best if you read it. Go ahead, you read it.
Read it? Okay. So this is the resolution for the determining sufficiency of instructional materials, resolution 1405. It is quite long, so give me some grace. Whereas in order to receive state instruction materials funds, the governing board is required by Education Code section 60119 to hold a public hearing and adopt a resolution by the 8th week of the school year, determining that every pupil, including English learners, has sufficient textbooks and instructional materials, or both, that are aligned to the content standards in each of the following subjects, that are consistent with the content and cycles of the curriculum framework adopted by the State Board of Education: mathematics, science, history, social science, reading, language arts. Whereas, as part of the required hearing, the governing board must also make written determination as to whether each pupil enrolled in the foreign language and health courses has sufficient textbooks or instructional materials that are consistent with the content and cycle of the frameworks adopted by the state board for those subjects. Whereas the governing board shall also determine the availability of laboratory science equipment as applicable to science laboratory courses offered in grades 9 to 12 inclusive. Whereas sufficient textbooks or materials means that each pupil, including English learners, has a textbook or instructional materials, or both, to use in class and to take home. This does not require 2 sets of textbooks or instructional materials for pupil. Whereas between the 2008 and 09 through the 2005-26 fiscal years, the definition of sufficient textbooks or instructional materials also means that all students who are enrolled in the same course within Corcoran Joint Unified School District have standards-aligned textbooks or instructional materials from the same adoption cycle. Therefore, be it resolved that the governing board hereby determines, as required by Education Code section 60119, that the school district has sufficient instructional materials for each pupil in the following areas: science, history, social science, reading, language arts, including the English language development component of the adopted program, health, foreign language, mathematics. Be it further resolved that there is available science laboratory equipment for students in science laboratory courses offered in grades 9 to 12. Therefore, be it resolved that for the 25-26 school year, the Corcoran Joint Unified School District has provided each pupil with sufficient textbooks and instructional materials consistent with the cycles and the content of the curriculum framework.
Thank you. Nothing to act on that? Very good. Action items, consent agenda. Do I have a motion to approve the consent agenda items? No motion?
Make a motion to approve.
I'll second, but I'll abstain again from the warrant register of August 15.
Very good.
Do you want to make a motion to approve everything like that, and then we'll do the one back for just the 15th only? Yeah.
So what are we doing? We're approving everything?
Read everything except for that one, don't forget that.
Okay.
That's the same one we brought back last week for that sport meeting.
Yes, but because we only had 3 board members here, we had to have a 3-0 for it to pass. I checked with legal on that to make sure.
I just looked at some sure. Yeah, maybe send it. And I'll abstain from the entire.
We just continue bringing it back, we'll have the same issue.
Right.
So it'd be easier if she just rescinds her second, somebody else second, and the 3 approve.
Okay.
So we don't have to bring it back again.
I'll second on this one. I'll second, Valerie abstains. Well, we're gonna go ahead and roll call. Sammy,
Aye.
Patty?
Aye.
Valerie abstains, and then I. Business and operations, consider and possibly appointment of scholarship committee members. Presenting this item is Ms. Alvarez.
Good evening. So this item is being brought as a recommendation for the approval of the attached scholarship committee appointments. The creation of the scholarship committee allows the district to receive gifts, donations, and requests for the purpose of providing interest-free loans, scholarships, or grants to district organizations, students, or graduates. The appointment of the committee is required as a first step for us to be able to move forward with this process, and the committee would report to the board annually. The attached list is the recommended appointments and is now brought to you guys for approval or any adjustments.
Okay. So do I have any individuals who would like to volunteer for this committee? Okay. Do we just need one or do we need more than one?
Okay, Sam, I get the hint, I'll do this.
Patty and Valerie are volunteering.
I knew you were.
Okay. So because they volunteer, we don't have to nominate, right? Okay, do I have a motion to approve? I go ahead and motion. Second, roll call. Sammy?
Aye.
Patty?
Aye.
Valerie?
Aye.
And I. Human Resources, Disclosure of California School Employees Association, Chapter 214, initial proposal for 25-26, collective bargaining negotiations. Who is that? Then we are in receipt of them. We are receiving the Disclosure of California School Employees Association, chapter proposal. That's all we have to do. Consider the approval of the Corporate Unified School District initial proposal for 25-26 collective bargaining units. Mr. Persino will provide a report.
Yes, good evening, Board President, Cisneros, members of the board. This is just the sunshine language that we are bringing to the board. We are mirroring what CSCA has put forward, those 4 articles, and that's it. So it's not just a successor year, so we're just going to go ahead and work with those 4 articles that they already identified in their sunshine language.
I don't need a motion, right? I do need a motion. Okay, do I have a motion to approve?
I move.
Patty, one second. Roll call, Sammy?
Aye.
Patty?
Aye.
Valerie?
Aye.
And I. Teaching and learning, approve the following board policies: comprehensive safety plan, accountability, uniform complaint procedures, student records, non-discriminatory harassment, married, pregnant, parenting students, and parent guardian notification. Ms. Mendoza to provide a brief report on this.
These are, good evening. These are just board policies that are up for review and updating that are needed at the beginning of each school year. They kind of drive all of these areas. So we're requesting that they be approved in this first, this time after you're agreed.
Thank you. Do I have a motion to approve?
I move to approve.
Sammy approves and Patty second. Thank you. Roll call, Sammy?
Aye.
Patty?
Aye.
Valerie?
Aye.
And I. Approve K-3 reading difficulty screener for 25-26 school year. Dr. Vargas?
So, due to new legislation, all schools throughout California are required to adopt 1 of 4 assessments that the state went through a piloting process, and this is to help us be able to identify in our earliest years if there are any intensive reading difficulties, so that we can identify a path forward to support their reading. So after reviewing the potential 4, we have decided to go with Amira, which seems to have the most efficient use of resources and tools and data. So we will be piloting that for this school year with hopefully a long-term adoption of this product. It comes highly recommended.
Thank you. Do I have a motion to approve?
I motion to approve.
All right, I'll second. Roll call. Sammy?
Aye.
Patty?
Aye.
Valerie?
Aye.
And I. Approve the resolution number 1405, sufficient instructional materials, Williams Instructional Materials Funding Realignment Program. Dr. Vargas?
So that was part of the resolution that we just read. We did conduct Williams visits at both John Muir Middle School and the high school, and all of the instructional materials was found to be an appropriate number on each campus.
Thank you. Do I have a motion to approve?
I motion to approve.
I'll second. Roll call, Sammy?
Aye.
Patty?
Aye.
Valerie?
Aye.
And I. Future agenda items? Okay, we will reassume, return to closed session at 7:09. Thank you, everyone.